Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first theory episode on the leagues. I'm going to skip the entirety of this intro. I've tried to film it 3 times already, but you guys don't care about what leagues is or how it works because you've already watched videos on it. And if you haven't, go watch some of the other YouTube creators, and they made some really nice videos. Also, if you haven't, go look at the wiki, because the wiki has some really good information, which we're going to be looking at in a couple of minutes here. But I just wanted to say I apologize that I haven't posted a video in a couple weeks. I have been super busy, just swamped everywhere. So let's get straight into it, guys, and hopefully we can post one of these every day, because starting today, they've been posting a new relic every single day, and I want to continue to be up on it. All right, so we're going to go over this as best as I can with what we have here. This is going to be just a basic overview of some stuff first. So obviously this league is going to go from September 15th to November 10th. Very important because I want to continue to play on the Group Ironman as an account for Group Ironman, as well as try and get this leagues done. And I'll get to it at the end, but the main goal of leagues is to get the Dragon Cup, for me at least. I'm not going for like high scores. Unless I find out I really enjoy it, then I might go for high scores. But Dragon Cup is my end goal. Let's talk about it. So the rules, similar to Fresh Start Worlds, we will all be Iron Man and we will all be able to continue through this. Hopefully it's not as bad as Fresh Start Worlds is. I don't want to be mean to RuneScape, but they did really not a good job. Really not a good job. They really didn't do a good job at Fresh Start Worlds, having to have another account, not giving crazy good XP rates, just being overall not a fun game mode, in my opinion. I didn't play it for very long, but this hopefully will be awesome. These are some examples of some easy tasks. This is all we have so far. I will update you if we get any new information on higher level tasks, but easy tasks seem really simple. Like, I knew they would, but these, unless they get a little bit more challenging, are tasks that take less than 30 seconds each. So with no restriction on where we can be, this seems like you can finish through the easy tasks within a couple of hours of the game coming out. So I don't know. What sucks about RuneScape 3 is the first hour you play the game really should be spent fixing all of your settings, because for some reason the game just isn't properly set to anything, so it just kind of sucks. But yeah, after we get all the settings done, these should be really simple to do. But the main thing that we're going to be talking about is the relic. Of course, a couple of days ago, maybe even close to a week ago, they came out with all of the relic, which these ones are pretty simple and self-explanatory. We'll talk about them in what I'm going to least likely pick to what I'm most likely going to pick. So let's talk about Divine Woodcutter. The powerful hatchet and woodcutting for divination and woodcutting. While training, you get logs automatically burnt, which again, not crazy good. We have a relic for that within archaeology, and then all unburnt logs and nests were sent to the bank, which also doesn't really make a difference, because once you get a high enough level in woodcutting, your wood box, assuming you have one, which is really easy to make, can hold up to like 270 logs and infinite amounts of birds' nests, at least what I know. So kind of useless. Divination, memories are automatically deposited straight into the rift. There is also another relic for that in divination as well. Chronicles are captured instantly, which, as you'll see later, completely worthless because of the production relic that came out today. Energy springs last longer. I don't know if that's individualized, if it might be useful for if you're doing group divination or a giant cluster of people like on World 79, if this lasts for one person, or if it's kind of like a, hey, one person that has this needs to touch it and then it extends for an extended period of time. That's perfect. Maybe one person has to bite the bullet and take this one, just so everyone has a decent AFK divination training. And then double divine energy from springs and memories. All again, not that big of a deal. We're not playing this game mode for the long run, so you really don't need energy that much. Then it's going to be the fishing relic. This one's actually quite cool. No bait required for fishing. Whatever, that's a prawn perk. 50% increased catch rate for all fish. Really nice. I am super interested in that one. All fish caught are sent to the bank. Again, porters. Something that already exists. I don't know. Fish can be automatically cooked. Again, this kind of is a relic. Well, they do have an automatic fish cooking thing. It only gives 50% XP. So this actually might be a useful one to pick, just to train cooking at a fast, efficient rate. And if all of them are sent to the bank, you have unlimited food for any encounter. Fair enough. Hunter traps really don't matter, because I train Hunter in one of 2 ways, and neither of them matter for traps, because it's either the silly scarabs over in Het's Oasis, or it's when I get to the point where I can and get level 88 or 92 hunter, and I can just go to Croesus Front. Neither of those have traps involved, so traps don't matter. Hunter loot double doesn't matter either, and then all hunter loot sent to the bank might be useful if I want the mushrooms, but honestly, I don't care. Like, it just makes it a little bit more AFK if I get this sent to the bank. So really what we care about is the fishing one. That's really the important thing. Then of course, the one I'm almost certainly going to pick is the mining archaeology relic. Ores are automatically smelted into bars. Super useful. I don't know what will happen when it comes to mining one type of rock. Like if I mine copper, it turns into bronze, so I don't ever have to mine tin. Does that also work with like dark animica? If I mine dark animica, does it turn into elder rune? Because it has 3 other ingredients. You need a full bar of rune, which requires rune, night ore, and luminite, and then also requires a light animica. So that seems super overpowered. Gems instantly cut. I don't care. Resources are sent to the bank. Very good. Very nice. And double damage for rock opportunities. Now, for the resources sent to the bank one, it's under the mining specifically, which I think that means it doesn't affect the archaeology one. That would make this an unbelievably perfect one to take if this resource sent to the bank affected the archaeology. I don't think it does though, which is fine because we get increased chrono gain, material cost to restore artifacts as half, which is already nuts, and time sprites are stationary, just giving you a boost to your production speed and the amount of resources you're going to gather. So incredible. Geodes have a chance to contain archaeology materials. Honestly, I don't really care about this one. We're not going to be spending enough time mining for geodes to have a massive impact on my archaeology materials, so whatever. But clearly excavator, with the information we know now, is the top choice and everyone should be picking. Unless you're not planning on really doing archaeology and mining for whatever reason, I would definitely be picking this 9 times out of 10. The other 1 time out of 10, you'd pick the fishing relic. And then maybe if you had an alt that you wanted to just get the energy spring lasting longer for a group of people, you would have him pick this. But that's my thoughts on the first set of ones. Let's go to the one that just got released today. This is going to sound stupid, but I actually just, last night while I was recording, I got food poisoning. Don't know how, don't know why, but we are here and they came out with another relic. It's been so long since I last recorded that clip. They came out with the next relic already. But let's go over Production Master first real quick, and we are going to give you guys the reason why I like that. I also haven't read anything about Perkfection, I guess it's called, which is cool. It's an invention one. That's awesome. I was actually thinking about having invention ones come out, but let's talk about Production Master. All right. Grants the Brooch of the Elder Gods. Now, for when it comes to these new ones, I'm going to talk about how it synergizes with the old ones and what potentially that means for possible new perks and such. Brooch of the Elder Gods, you'll see why that's crazy. So what the Brooch of the Elder Gods does is that it spawns Saren spirits, divine blessings, catalysts of alteration, and manifest knowledge. So already you're spawning all the things. Now, I don't know if that affects divine woodcutter, because it doesn't specifically mention that one. In the animation that it did on the release video, it says it produces all of the possible things that you can click on to get. And it showed a picture of the 4 of those things that they just mentioned. Now, does that mean it's only those 4 things? Maybe, but I think it could be all of them, which means Chronicles. This Chronicles capturing instantly, I mean, it might synergize well with it, but also like if we're getting Chronicles from that possibly, then what the hell's the point of even taking that relic? Now it's even less useful. But anyway, let's continue on. So what does the Brooch of the Elder Gods do? You gain benefits from portable skilling stations even when not using one, which is no one's going to be using one because we're all Iron Men. And of course you spawn those things. Manifest knowledges are interesting. They aren't very good. They give you basically like 10 times whatever your experience or level in the skill is, which I guess will multiply also based upon what multiplier you're at with XP. So maybe they're not the worst thing. Catalysts of alteration, I've literally never used these. Oh, these are for the clue scrolls. So these give you clue scroll stuff. Every 6 to 10 minutes, you'll get a nice set of maybe elites. I think it's most likely elites. Divine blessings are always good. They give invention components, and Saren spirits or drops on the rare drop table. So it covers pretty much everything, except for like fire spirits and like we just talked about the Chronicles from divination. Very cool. Brooch of the Elder God seems really, really awesome. It also supplies infinite urns, which is ridiculous. I don't know if that means you need to make 1 urn and it just never gets used, or if you get to choose which urn you're using, because what urns you're allowed to use depends on your crafting level. So, no idea. And then the big things about the actual perk itself, a +6 boost to almost all of your artisan skills. Very cool. I just don't see fletching on here, which I don't know why, but fair enough. Also, you will never burn food accidentally, which is an interesting one to add to this relic, I guess, but I mean, I'll take it. because I'm pretty sure if I go back up here, oh, no, it doesn't actually mention. So Animal Wrangler doesn't cover that already. So Production Master is what you want if you want to not burn food, which honestly doesn't matter. You'll get to 99 cooking super, super fast. Accidentally burning food, kind of useless because you'll get the cooking cape and then you'll never burn food anyway. Various production activities have their items processed all at once, which means any inventory stuff. They gave the example of a full inventory of gems, a full inventory of bows turning into full bows, and I forget the last one, but that'll just happen instantaneously. Oh yeah, herblore potions. So pretty cool, but honestly, you're going to get experience so fast already. Not the craziest things. So honestly, what you're looking for is that +6 boost to do stuff early and possibly getting the Brooch of the Elder Gods, which is really, really cool. If you use urns that give a 25% experience boost, it'll be a 100% XP boost off the bat, I hope. I don't know if these urns will also be using boosted XP rates, but if they are, this Brooch is incredible for getting any of those skills that have urns to 99 and 120 super, super fast. Anyway, let's move on to Perkfection. Gain an incredible stack of invention-related boosts. Okay, that means nothing because that's pretty much what this is all going to say. Access to infinite invention materials. Okay, this is massive. So, what I assume this means, I didn't actually watch the video yet, but what I assume this means is access to all of the invention materials, infinite amounts of them. Anything that you have unlocked based on your level, you can just make as many perks and have as many perk attempts as you want. Also, you'll be able to make as many gizmos as you want because it just requires materials, right? So having this relic perk and the excavator one, you can get ancient invention unlocked very, very quickly and then use anything from ancient invention as much as you want. So that is really cool. And you can get some crazy perk combos. Now, we haven't seen any combat relics yet, so maybe invention perks are irrelevant, which would make this perk irrelevant regardless of whatever the rest says, but we'll wait until that happens. There might be another invention perk later on that comes in that boosts invention-related buffs, but I'm just speculating here. Let's get on with the rest of this. Augmented items and machines consume no charge. So if you do take Perkfection, it looks like this one's even more useless. This one is like giving you double divine energies, longer springs, more memories. Like if you're using Perkfection, what are you doing? Like they really are trying to make the divine woodcutter perk completely useless. They are really, really trying because wow, no charges. That's the only reason you do invention is to make porters and to use it for invention. So it's crazy that they're doing this. But whatever. Healthful perks are triggered 10% more often, and this doesn't stack with the level 20 benefits, so really not that useful. Unless, of course, all of this is speculation, but unless another perk comes out where they buff what the actual invention perks do, this 10% thing does not matter. Like, there's like, if you get a 6% damage buff, now it's a 6.6% damage buff. Whoop-de-doo. We're going to get combat perks eventually that are going to absolutely murder bosses. So, I don't think this matters. Invention machines run twice as fast. Could be useful. This is a temporary game mode, mind you, so if you're doing anything really that involves invention stuff, like the plank maker or the auto alker, just to get money and do a bunch of junk, I mean, can be useful, but you can probably also do it very quickly. There may be perks in the future that also allow you to alch as like a bunch of things at once, or possibly like, I don't know if processing a full inventory of planks is covered in this, because construction's covered. So maybe it doesn't even matter, like the plank maker, the tan hider, all of that shit. If you can do that by yourself, then what's the point? So maybe this is useless, maybe this is useful, but I'm gonna lean towards the useless. When disassembling or alchemizing items manually, gain the resource from both actions. Okay, so instead, so it doesn't affect machines or cleaners. So I'm assuming that it means if you alch something, you get, or disassemble something, you get both the money and the components. So maybe that actually is kind of cool. This is the only thing I'd want from it. Seems really nice. So essentially, what you're doing is if you get something as a drop, instead of, bringing it to your bank and putting it in your bank for a loot tab and then alching it or having to choose, do I want to disassemble this salvage for like the bladed or base components or possibly like powerful components or whatever they give? Instead, you can just disassemble it, get those components, and then get the money. To be fair, why would you want the disassembling stuff if you already have infinite invention materials? Honestly, I think the reason they do this is so that if you have a spring cleaner, you can just have it set to disassemble, and then you'll just get money regardless. It won't use springs because disassembling stuff doesn't use springs, and you'll get the money from alching it. which is great because doing any kind of spring gathering is absolutely terrible. But again, if you have infinite invention materials, then none of this matters. So it's very odd. These are very odd combos here. Let's read the rest of these before we start making anything. When disassembling or alkalizing manually, you have a 66% chance to save the resource. Ooh, now that's a big one. So I would just sit there and disassemble stuff that I gathered off the floor with my spring cleaner. Oh, I guess not with the cleaners. Damn. They really caught us there with that. So I guess you do have to manually pick it up. And then this is like an infinite money glitch. If you have 100, and of anything, of 100 huge bladed rune salvages, it's essentially 300 bladed rune salvages because each of them has a 1 in 3 chance of actually getting used. So that's really cool. You essentially means that money is no longer an issue. But it doesn't work with the cleaners. That's actually kind of massive. So this one might not be my favorite perk. I really thought this would be better than it is, but And unlock all blueprints in dwarven and goblin tech trees. Honestly, I can't see that being super, super useful. Like, on my group Ironman, I have yet to even look down these trees. So in a month and a half, am I really gonna have a reason to look down these trees? Maybe I'll decide to do it, but I don't know. But guys, that is it. That is all we know so far. We're going to be coming out with another video tomorrow, and I am super excited to bring that to you guys. And yeah, I'll catch you in that one. Peace.